like Emily, who has to do it on the internet, sometimes has some context. So I'm gonna go ahead and work my way down to lay down. Good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close my eyes. And I was talking last night, and basically we were talking about how, like, what is Pilates, and like obviously there's the external factors, and the reason why we keep doing it is because we feel better and we have more control of our body. But like the best way I could describe it is like we're working on our insides. Like we know what our outsides are, but we're untangling our insides. So with your eyes closed as you get started this morning, I want you to think like you're Iron Man and like you're gearing up from the middle and kind of going out. So I'm actually gonna straighten my legs for this. I think I'll have a better thing like that, and that helps my pelvis stay more neutral. But I want you to start with your fingers and kind of go to the middle. So not at the top by your ribs to your rectus. And I want you to put your hands in the middle of your belly, and I want you to kind of go out. So like kind of start reaching out. Can you push your ribs down, find your TVA, and then when you're there, lift up your pelvic floor. Take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, and then squeeze those muscles tighter. And we're gonna stay here for a second. And then that little fishing line where it's really tight through here, and then a nice deep breath in. And then lifting your pelvic floor, which consequently also makes space for you to lift your TVA up a little bit more. And again, a nice deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Oh my gosh, I'm cramping. That's so funny. That's good. I recruited it good. And then one more breath in. Good. Now if you can, with your eyes closed, because we're working on our insides, can you squeeze your right oblique with the muscle activation, and then try to lengthen the left, and then squeeze the left and lengthen the right. And we could do this for a whole hour, and you would feel like muscular work, but it wouldn't be exhausted. But we like building onto that. Again, it's a good thing, but this is the basis. And again, when I'm going forward in my life, I want my spine to be strong in this position. I don't want to be strong like a roly-poly, and I don't want to be strong in a back bend. I want to be strong here and have that flexibility to go wherever I need to go, but then to be able to go home. Because this position where we are right now, building strength on this, is how we live most of our lives. Standing, walking, sitting, eating. And so we want to be strong in this position, and everything else just helps us live our best life without any restrictions. So again, I'm going to stay locked and loaded, and then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and flex my feet, and then I'm going to rotate my right femur. I'm going to externally rotate it out, and then I'm going to rotate it inwards. And then I want to feel how that affects my TVA or my rectus. It's probably not going to be something big and crazy, but being able to utilize that. And maybe if you go really far, maybe you find your glute kick on. Maybe you shut your glute off. Maybe you can't shut it off now because we've done 100 glute things for hours on end. Good. And then I'll go ahead and stop moving that femur head, and then I'll move the other one. But again, I'm creating contact that I can do. My brain can be elsewhere, but I can still maintain, so that it becomes a lifestyle and not just that thing we did that one time, which is what I have a hard time with sometimes. Good. And then I'll go ahead and stop moving that, and I'm going to do both. I'm going to kind of wing them out, and then where the femur sits in the hip socket can affect how it's triggered, which is why we go through all the motions. So again, it can be applied to life. Yeah, so we're just turning things on. Now, go ahead and keep your core on. Now I want you to press into your heels, and I want you to squeeze your glutes and let them like lift up your pelvic floor, and then go ahead and relax. And then can you go ahead and lift your pelvic floor, hold your core in tight, and squeeze your glutes. And again, it's an up contraction. Good, which is a little different than like squats in a gym, because that's a down contraction. There's some science in that. But again, we're just being able to keep all our organs and everything inside of us being able to be held up because our support network is so good. And then one more time. And I'm just talking about this today because it's always in there, and it's always important that, you know, that we have our pelvic girdle strong. But like we talk about musculature, and then we're kind of easing into like how the bones are related to the musculature and such. One other thing me and Katie have been doing this week is sometimes our femurs slide into our hip socket. So what I want you to do now is, can you, and this is crazy, and my eyes are closed because I'm untangling my insides, can you reach your right heel away, squeeze your butt, hold your core tight, and open your hips? It seems counterintuitive, but it actually works. So push through your right heel and create a lot of space, and then still keep your core tight, and then go ahead and relax, and then go to your left heel, push it away, squeeze your butt, hold your core tight, and allow space to happen in the front hip. And then can you do both? Can you push your core down? Can you push through your heels, which consequently, and you lengthen, makes your glutes lift, kind of like a tiny bridge. And that's how we get that maximum stuff. Because we're going to, again, to make this really strong, we're going to be shortening from the practice and such. Okay, so one of the things as I've been growing, and you guys are super strong too, is when my legs are bent. It's really normal for the hamstrings to help. So we're going to start with core work with our legs straight. And that's why I'm going to be intentional about lifting the pelvic floor so we're not bearing down. Again, these are just prerequisites. I'm sure you guys get this. So I'll take my hands behind my head, and then I'm going to do like Katie does in classical, and I'm going to breathe in through my nose, and I'm going to exhale and curl up for 1, 2, 3. Now take a check of your landscape here. Reach through your heels, lift your booty, and then go ahead and lengthen back down. And then you're going to exhale, and you're going to squeeze 1, 2, 3, and then lengthen back down. And then you can't recruit your glute or your hamstrings too much. 2, 3, and then back down. And again, 3, 2, 3. Exhale, ha, ha, ha. Let's do 3 more. 3. Oh, you're so pretty. Good. 2. And then 1. Okay, so it's a different mindset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and curl up again. I'm going to reach my hands up, and then I'm going to exhale and curl up for 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I want to hollow my belly out and stretch forward. And then I'm going to stay in a cat position, and I'm going to lay down in a cat position. So I'm going to try and lay down. And then I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to exhale and curl up for 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to reach and stretch, and I'm going to stay in a cat position, chin to chest, and I'm going to lay down. And then just 2 more. 1, 2, 3. And this is to get our hamstrings this morning. Sometimes we use a foam roller to manipulate that, but now we're going to use our body. Last one. Okay, now we do this on the mat. I'm going to stay forward. Can you glide up your leg, press down, pull your lats down, and sit up super tall like a string's pulling you up? And then I want you to nod your chin, and like you're diving up and over a picket fence to pick up a puppy. And then you're going to push into your shins like you're doing hands and straps on the reformer. And then you're going to nod, and you're going to dive up and over. And then you're going to inhale with air, fill up tight, tall. And imagine like you're doing a crunch, and you're going to exhale and go forward. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Stretch it out. And then we're just going to do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, 3. And then up. This is more mobility work and flexibility. 2. But I'm in it for some strength this morning. But I want to do this so that we can kind of maximize. And 1. And then the last thing we're going to do while we're up tall is I'm going to go back, and this is a little more passive, and I'm going to go ahead and stretch my calves, which pull up to the hamstrings a little bit, because we're going to go into a lot of straight leg work, and I want that to feel good. Good. Stretch out. Let it pull you. Look how flexible you are. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get myself ready. We're going to lay down. We're going to dig in. So I'm going to go ahead and set myself down. I'm creating space, reaching. And then I'm going to reach my hands behind my head. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to curl myself up for 8 and back down. A little higher. 7, 6. I'm pushing through my heels. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to hold it up and pulse for 8, 7, lift your pelvic floor, 6, 5, so you're organizing your insides, 2, and then I'm going to twist towards you guys. I'm going to twist one direction, and then I'm going to come back to this, and I'm going to go the same direction. I'm going to twist. It's the same idea where you bring your knee towards your armpit, but our knee is very far away, so I mean, can you imagine how much harder you'd have to work? Good. 3, inhale, exhale, 4, and I'm trying not to let my pelvis wiggle. 5, yeah, that looks really, you look really grounded. 6, 7, and then we're gonna go the other way. So I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna bring in a washcloth for 8, and I'm gonna try and get the same height. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and now we're going to alternate. 1, I'm going to go ahead and inhale, I'm going to exhale and twist for 8, go a little higher. 7, push to the heels. 6, nice. 5, belly buttons in tight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what we've been doing is we've kind of been going out or twist and back. So what I want to do is I want to make it a big circle. So if you watch me first, I'm going to twist, I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to bring it around. I'm I'm gonna twist, I'm gonna come up and bring around. So we're gonna go 8 one way, 8 the other, okay? Try not to pull on your neck if it gets like, if it feels like it'll help. And you're gonna exhale and squeeze. 3. If my counting's off, I'm sorry. 4. Twist, pull it up. 5. Maybe push your elbows, touch your elbow, 6. 7. And 8. And then I'll go the other way. I'm gonna touch my elbow, pull it up, and twist and touch. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. Ugh, good. 3. 2. And 1. Good. And then I'm going to stay curled up through the middle. And I'm totally supporting my neck. Lots of rotation, lots of rotation. And then I'm going to start with my right leg, and I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to slide it in, pushing in, and I'm going to curl up a little higher. And then I'll send it back out. I'm going to exhale, I'm going to curl in and pull it in. And I'm lifting that pelvic floor. 3, I'm making space. I'm really purposeful. 4, you're fierce. 5, you are the master of your destiny. 6, 7, and I'm pushing into that left heel, and 8. Now I'm gonna plant that leg down. I'm gonna open it up to the side, and I'm gonna curl up and squeeze my inner thigh in. Drawing towards the midline, I'm gonna open, and I'm gonna squeeze. 2, and that bottom leg is gonna stay straight. 3, 4, I'm watching myself. 5, I'm watching you too, but I want you to watch yourself. 6, and then be proud of what you're making. 7, and 8. Now you're going to twist towards that leg. So you're going to open it, you're going to exhale, and you're going to twist as far as you can. Inhale, exhale, wring out the water of the washcloth. 2, 3, a great time to send your armpit towards your knee. 4, 5, pushing into the left heel. 6, and squeeze deeper. 7, yes, girl. And I'm gonna stay twisted. I'm gonna breathe, I'm gonna exhale, and I'm gonna lift the leg up, deepen, and then back off a little. I'm gonna exhale, lift, deepen. 2, 3, push into that left heel so your pelvis is so steady. 4, and lightning round it up. 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna stay twisted. I'm gonna kick it up because my hamstring needs woken up this morning, and I'm gonna bend. I'm gonna extend and then bend. Good. 3, 4, 5, you're so pretty. 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna tuck it in, and I'm gonna send the leg out. I'm gonna twist and meet the other leg down, and I'm gonna pull it back in. I'm gonna twist and tap my heel down, and then pull it back in. 2, 3, 4, nice. 5, 6, good tight belly button. 7, and then we're gonna keep the leg straight, and then we're gonna lift it up and twist a little deeper, and then set it down. Lift it up, twist. 2, maybe you have to soften your knee. 3, 4, good, but you're not setting your head down. 5, because you are wicked strong. 6, 7, okay, so now you can choose to keep your legs straight, or you can soften it, okay, totally up. I don't want you to fight yourself, or you can angle it a little bit, but I want you to draw pretty little circles on the ceiling. So I want you to squeeze and go 8, 7, 6, go up a little higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1, and you can reverse. And again, I can do this from my knee. 8, 7, because my leg's just the weight. 6, 5, 4, and put a ponytail in. Yes, girl. Okay, so then I'm gonna keep my leg bent, or I'm gonna keep it straight. Pick that, and then you're gonna hover the bottom leg, and you're gonna lift it up. You're gonna click your heels together, and then you're gonna drop it down. You're gonna bring it up, click your heels together, and drop it down. 2, good. 3, 4, 5, nice. 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm gonna hover this leg over the table, and I'm gonna draw little circles for 8, 7, we're almost done. 6, 5, 4, good. 3, I'm curling up higher. 2, and then we're gonna reverse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna set it down, and I'm gonna lay it down. And I'm going to try to not mess this up because it's a new order, and And we're not gonna mess it up, but it'll still be really integrated. Yay, okay. So again, I like this lengthening of everything. So we're building the long, strong muscles. We started where we needed to with our knees bent, but like now we're so grown and expanded. And again, just working through fatigue and all the things. So I'll take my hands behind my head. I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna start just like I did before where I curl up first, inhaling, exhaling, squeezing out the air and recreating space. And again, 2, 3, 4, I'm a little more integrated this time, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna hold it up and pulse from my breath, ha, ha. I'm pushing through my heels, but I'm lifting my center. So this is coming up, this is going down, 3, 2, and then I'm gonna take my left leg and I'm gonna slide it in and curl up, and then I'm gonna push it out. I'm gonna slide in 2 and push it out. 3, 4, nice. 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to set that leg down. I'm going to stay through the middle. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to curl up and squeeze for 8. And this gives me some reference to stay pressed down. 7. When my leg's bent, 6, sometimes I try to counterbalance, but now I have muscularity to help me. 4. Good, and that helps keep that hip flexor open. 3, 2, and then we're going to add the twist towards it. So I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to rotate, twist, sitting my armpit towards my knee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is where I stay twisted. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to lift up and then tap it down. I'm lifting up my elevator. 2, and tapping it down. 3, pushing heavy in that right heel. 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to stay twisted. I'm going to extend and bend. I'm going to squeeze and bend. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and I'll keep it. Oh no, I'm going to keep it up to, no, circles are later. Yes, circles are later. I'm going to send it out, and I'm going to tap my foot, and then I'll bring it back in. And again, 2, 3, 4, inhale, exhale, 5, twist, 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm going to lift the leg up, and then bring it back down. That's right, that's right. 2, 3, I'm stretching as far as I can. 4, good, I'm pressing heavy in the pelvis. 5, 6, 7, and now it's circles. I'm going to hold it up there, and I'm going to use my core, and I'm going to squeeze and squeeze. 2, 3, 4. This gets ready at 5 when Katie does classical leg circles. 6, 7, at least we have something, and then I'll go the other way. 8, I'm bad at those, by the way. 7, 6, 5, but I know they're coming. 4, 3, 2, good. And then I'm going to go ahead and bend that leg, or I'm going to keep it straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring this back leg straight up. I'm going to tap my ankles, and then I'm going to curl and bring it down for 8. Bring it up, curl down. 7, 6, 5. I'm twisting when I'm dropping. 4, 3, 2. And then I'm going to hover, and I'm going to do 8 little circles one way for 8, 7, and this leg can be bent. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'll reverse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now, if you could, tuck your legs in. Good. Oh, yes, good, 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 good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to go ahead and push my legs up to straight. So we worked hard, right? You worked so hard on this. So now that we've got it, we're going to capitalize on it. And we're going to do some like traditional mat work, which is hands down, push your biceps and your triceps into the mat and open your chest. You're going to squeeze really tight, and I want you to toe tap your right leg down, hold it in tight, and then relax up. And then switch. You're going to hold it in tight, and then relax. And you can use your hands. 3 if your hand want to squish it, or you can use your palms for proprioception for your shoulders. Whatever one serves you today. And I'll go 4, 3, 2. This is totally acceptable too, to imprint your back when both legs are up, just not when both feet are down. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to stay in neutral, but if I need to, I'll tuck and you'll be able to see my angle change. But I wanna squeeze this really tight and I'm gonna send one leg out, squeeze, 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 pull it back in and switch. Squeeze, 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 2, good, 3, 4, and maybe if that's quad heavy, I just give a little kick, 5, like this, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring my legs up and then I'll do single leg drops. So then I'm gonna drop it down, I'm gonna hold this really tight and then bring it back up. Now, normally we do this in flexion, which makes it easier to hop on top, but now you have to do it with your brain, but you guys are so strong. And I'll go ahead and squeeze for 4, pushing your chest open, 3, or using my hands and pushing chest open, 2, 1, good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tuck in. I'm gonna roll that out a little bit because neutral is harder, and then I'm gonna add some diversions here. So I'm gonna take my right leg, I'm gonna open it up to the side, I'm gonna go as far as I can, and then I'm gonna pull it back to my midline, including my ribs. Same leg, I'm gonna open, and I'm gonna pull to my midline. 2, 3, this isn't quite the Bernie step, but that's okay. 4, because we'll get back at it. 5, beautiful. 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs together. I'm going to go ahead and go into the lift from here. Usually we add the lift. If you want to keep them bent though, keep them bent, and then I'll go ahead and twist the same direction with legs together, and then pull it back in for 8. I did not stair step this. 7, but I don't think you need it. 6, and then I really just have to open my shoulders. 5, and use those twisty muscles. 4, inhale to twist, exhale to pull it back in. 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to happily bend again. And then I'm going to go and take the left leg open, and then I'm going to squeeze it back in for 8. Chest open. 7. You're lifting your pelvic floor. 6, 5, 4, good. And by the way, if you ever feel your flexors or something on these, like these kind of moves, you can always put your feet down. And that will help take it away. And then I'll go ahead and extend my legs, and then I'll let both legs drop over to the other side, and I'll use my twisty muscles to pull it back in. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to try to glue my ankle bones together, pull back in, shoot where my heels. Inhale, exhale, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 8. Cool. Okay, so that brings us back to a little bit of a diversion here. So now instead of alternating, we're going to go into double legs. So I'm going to go back to my neutral. I'm going to hold it in tight. I'm going to press down, and then I'm going to toe tap both legs down. Maybe I touch, maybe I don't, and then I'm going to scoop my abs back up. So I'm going to hold my rectus down, and I'm going to scoop it back up. So I'm really isolating with the rectus and then scooping from the TVA. And I'll go 4, squeeze those inner thighs to help. 3, good. 2, and then 1, and then we're going to send our legs out. So we're going to send both legs out, and you're going to scoop and pull it back in. You're going to inhale, you're going to exhale. 2, a little different breathing. Rectus down. 3, reach. If you want to play a game with yourself, 4, go lower. 5, and I'm pretty satisfied where I am. 6, and I'm regulating my shoulders. 7, press open, and 8. And you guys, I'm going to go up towards the ceiling. I'm going to keep my head down unless you want to bring it up because it feels better. You can. I'm going to lengthen, and then I'm going to scoop my TVA back up. I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to exhale. Different breathing patterns than when I have you in flexion, I know. 3, reach, 4, 5. I'm so proud of you. 6, 7, and then we're going to continue this into a rollover. We're going to roll over, take a little break. Yes. Okay, so from here, I'm going to point and flex a little to stretch. Hold, hollow out your belly. Good. Okay. Then I would like you to plant your hands under your bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take one of your legs and you're going to bring it up towards the ceiling the best you can. And then you're going to bring it back down and we're going to switch. And bring it up 2. Creating that space we found on the mat at the beginning. 3. Good. Inhale, exhale. 4. I'm so proud of that height, guys. 5. 6. 7. And 8. And then if you can do both legs, again, squeezing your ankles or your heels together, lift and try to make it go straight up towards the ceiling, which feels almost like you're gonna fall. Good, and then stretch at the top. Yeah, that looks good. Good, both, yes. Stretch. Let's do 4 more. 4. 3. And we're not rushing because we're doing such a great job. 2. And 1. Okay, now can you keep your legs up? Well, actually, let's pike real quick. Let's pike back down. Bring your hands to the side. And if you can, bring your legs up the best you can. And then try to set yourself down like somebody's holding your toes. And they're going to set you down 1 vertebrae at a time. Oh, it's hard. Good. Which is going to lead us into our little teaser section here. So let's roll like a ball first. So I'm going to take my hands under my head. I'm going to curl myself up under my head. Oh my gosh, under my hamstrings. And I'm going to roll like a ball. Kind of massage out the spine, kind of give your abs don't really get a break, I'm so sorry. But it's not the driving force, you get a little bit of musculature elsewise. Yeah, that looks good. Good. And then again, as you get better, or just efficient, you guys are better. He keeps talking about the future like you're not there. Good. All right, and then if you want, I'm gonna run into the bar, so if it gets really funky, please excuse. But then do your open leg rocker, and yeah, look how your hamstrings are so good. And you're pulling yourself into that V, and you'll be able to rock. And then set yourself up and pull at the top. Good, 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 that looks awesome. And then that getting tall thing. That's gonna make going into teaser so much nicer. Good. Okay, so let's go ahead and lay ourselves down. Good, and we're gonna use that beautiful weight of our legs, and we're gonna use the weight of our beautiful arms to help extend and to create some space. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with my legs up at tabletop. I wanna inhale, I'm gonna exhale. I'm gonna nod my chin like I'm doing the 100. I'm gonna reach, and I'm gonna extend my legs to lift up. Good, and then I'm gonna tuck my knees back in, and I'm gonna set myself down. And then I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna exhale, I'm gonna extend, I'm gonna curl up, I'm gonna reach, and then I'm gonna tuck it back in. Good. And again, 3, 4, nice, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, can you hold it at the top? Can you set your legs down? And then can you lift them up for 8? Oh, good job. 7, and that's what it's with laying down. 6, 5, 4, good, almost done. 3, 2, 1. Now keep your feet down. Stretch yourself forward. And then we'll lay ourselves down. Good job. Okay, let's do some side booty stuff. Amazing, amazing. So good. And then we'll roll to the side, which feels nice. Feels super rolly and twisty. I may have to scoot up a little bit so I don't run into those bars. Okay, so since we were so long-legged, I'm gonna keep that theme here. But if it feels okay, and the reason why this is nicer is because when you're closer to your body, you can gear more strength. Okay, I'm just extending legs for a lot of things today for the challenge because you're weaker when you're spread apart. Like that's a life thing, right? And so when you're closer together, you have a little more control. So I want you to go where you feel today. I'm gonna look at my shoulders and I'm gonna look at my hip bones. I want you to get intimate with yourself and make sure, because this is bright pants, I can see that I'm nice and stacked and I'm not swazy, okay? So it's perfect for Netflix and it's perfect for everything else, but for our Pilates, we wanna keep our bones on top of each other because we don't wanna strengthen ourselves twisted, okay? So this is important. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flex my foot and I'm gonna kick back just a little bit and then I'll bring it, I'm gonna kick back just a little bit. 2, to start recruiting. 3, but we were already doing this on the ground. 4, we were pushing our heels down. 5, good. 6, 7, perfect, and 8. Now I'm gonna hover again, and then I'm gonna start kind of more traditional where I'm gonna go ahead and glide in, and then I'm gonna press it out. I'm gonna glide in. It kind of looks like I'm doing a squat, kind of sticking your bone back, but we can't see your bones. Good. 3, so we just pretend. 4, based on our own experience. 5, 6, and I'm still using all that leverage from before. 7, and then I'll go ahead and hover my knee, or my heel over my knee, and I'm gonna open and close. And again, I'm keeping my bones stacked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna hold it in pulse. So I'm gonna lock it in, I'm gonna squeeze, and I can use my hand to make sure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm gonna touch my knee, and I'm gonna touch my heel. And I'll go 2, and that looks really good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I like this pattern. 8, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep it bent. Something kind of new, I'm gonna lift the whole leg up, and then I'm gonna bring it back down. Lift the whole leg up. 2, I feel like a leprechaun. 3, wrong season. 4, that's okay, we haven't had any really normal seasons this year. 5, 6, 7, and then instead of going up, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it forward, and then I'm gonna press behind. And this is where that bone stacking is very helpful. We're getting our muscles strong around these bones. Oh, mama's quads are tight. 3, 4, nice. 5, 6, good. And find that fishing string. 7, and keep it tight. And of course, now we're gonna go to the straight leg thing. We're gonna stretch those hamstrings sideways for 8. Good. If you feel any frustration during core work, this is the time to be like, yeah, take that hamstrings. 6, 5, and make sure your shoulders, your pelvis are still stacked. 4, it's gonna start getting wobbly. 3, 2, now we're gonna continue this party by going into a circle. So I'm gonna kick back, and I'm gonna circle back, and then up for 8, 7, and I want to allow yourself a little free play. 6, to let your hips open. 5, nice. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll go the other way. And I'll go 8, 7, 6, 5, nice. 4, 3, 2, 100. And then I'll go ahead and set it down. And then I'll take the bottom hand, I'm gonna bring it in front. I haven't done this one forever. Okay, good, we're still good on time. And I'm gonna go ahead and push into my elbow, and I'm gonna lift, and then I'm gonna lengthen, and I'm gonna undulate down. And I'm gonna lift, 2. Feels so nice to work our core, not necessarily from our legs. 3, good. 4, and lengthen. 5, I'm gonna try to press my legs into the mat. I see they're moving a little. 6, 7, and then I'm gonna do single leg and then double leg. So I'm gonna lift from my bum and from my oblique, and then I'm gonna bring it back down. Hopefully it's still just a little tired too, so you can make that connection with the oblique and the glute complex. Good. 3, and getting that big, beautiful stretch up there. 4, yeah. 5, 6, that looks so good. 7, look at those open hips. Okay, and then I gotta move to my butt a little bit to get both legs to go up. So a little bit of coordination and not falling off the table. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, inhaling, exhaling. 6, 7, and that's it for that side. Woo woo. And then I'll go ahead and flip over to the other side. Same stuff, which is nice. Okay, so I'm gonna get cozy. I'm gonna check my bones real quick. They're worth it. Yeah, you get like 1 for free when you're born, and then you gotta pay for the rest. I heard somebody say that. That was so funny. Okay, so I do want to state my feet are a little bit at an angle because if I was straight back, it'd be a lot harder to stay steady, and this is my hinge point. So nice and stacked. And then what we did is we just kicked back first a little bit just to get that glute crease to be like, oh yeah, 2, 3, and I'm lifting my pelvic floor, but I'm reaching through my leg. It's like a highway. This goes this way and this goes this way. 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna go ahead and slide it in like I'm doing a squat, and then back out. Oh, and my hips want to move, so I'm gonna use my hands to help it too. This is my funny side. 3, 4, 5, that looks really good. 6, 7, and then I'm gonna hover over my knee joint, and I'm gonna rotate open and close. And I'm doing it without moving my hips back. I'm gonna keep my bones. 3, and work the muscles around the bones. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'll hold it up and pulse for 8, 7. I'm kind of reaching through my knees. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll do knee heel. So we're gonna touch our knee, and then make space and touch our heel, and then again 2, touch, 3, and 4, 5, 6, so good, 7, and we're gonna add that little leprechaun move in there, which is just I'm gonna hover it and I'm gonna go and lift it up and then bring it back down. Yeah, 2, 3, it's kind of like fire hydrant, but we're laying down. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna hover the leg, I'm gonna pull it into my chest, and then I'm gonna press and open it up for 8. Holding that tight fishing string. 7, pressing heavy into that foot. 6, so again, my pelvis is so fully supported. 7, and 8, and then I'll extend the leg. I'm gonna get vengeance on those hamstrings. 8 in the good way. 7, nice. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're staying with the straight leg theory, so we're gonna kick back for circles. Kick, open your hips, that should feel nice for 8, and I'm trying to move from my rotary here. 7, 6, point and flex and play with that, see what feels good. 5, 4, 3, nice, nice. I'm still trying to keep my bones on top of each other. 2, 1, and then I'll go the other direction. And then just taking note what's direction's harder. It kind of gives you some insight about what you're strong at. Good. 3, 4, nice. Good mobility. 5, 6, 7, and there's number 8. Good. And then I'll go ahead and set it down, and then we're going to go again into our obliques. So I'll bring that hand forward. I'm going to use this so I don't crank my neck, and I'm going to press down and lift up tall, and then I'm going to lengthen back down. I'm going to press and relax, lift up tall, 2, and lengthen back down. 3, and lengthen. I'm trying to keep my feet down. 4, my brain's telling me sometimes I don't listen. 5, 6, 7, good, and this is where we're gonna add our leg. So I'm gonna add the leg for 8. I'm gonna try and get the same height. That's the one thing about camera, is that camera doesn't lie. 6, 5, and connecting that glute work to this. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll add both legs. I'm gonna roll to my bum, touch, and back down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I love it. 2, 1. Good. Let's up. Oh, we're doing so good. We're perfect for arms now. So we're gonna do 8s. So that way the timers get a break and you don't hear beeps in your dreams. So I actually really liked
Katie's order, I think it kind of is nice too on the wrist. So I'm gonna go ahead, I think it was a baby in Katie's class down my knees. I'm gonna try to be strong girl, do it on my feet. But we're gonna start with 8 scaling push-ups. So it's like shoulder protraction and retraction is the Hillary version of saying that. But what I wanna do is I wanna use all the stuff I worked on with that elongation and step into my best plank. And then I'm gonna shoulder protract and retract for 8, 7, 6. Now I've gotta lift my chin up because I'm an avid looker downer. 3, 2. Now I'm gonna go right into reverse push-up. So I'm gonna lower myself to the ground, and then I am gonna go to my knees because that feels better for me today. And I'll push up for 8, 7, 6. I'm winging my shoulder blades. 5, so I get some connection back there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tuck my feet under, just something a little different. And I'm gonna push back, and then I can change where my feet go. Totally personal. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my fingers in, and then I'm gonna bring my forehead towards the mat, and then push for 8. I wanna push all the way through. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do is go into dolphin. So that's more of a triangle push-up. Dolphin is my hands are gonna go straight, and I'm gonna bring my elbows down towards the mat, and then I'm gonna push up. And you can do one at a time like I did. Down and back up. 2. Good. 3. But not falling on your nose is very important to me. 4, 5, and then trying to stretch my hamstrings. 6, 7, and 8. And then I'll set my knees down. Give myself a little bit of a count there. Yes. I'll do one more time. It might be a little. This watch, I have big nails on, so I can't set it correctly. It's like 5 minutes ahead, so I just gotta do math really quick, which is good for my brain. Okay, one more time. Totally got this. So I'm gonna go ahead and find myself in my best position. I'm gonna pull my belly button in because we worked so hard on it, and it's gonna really show off. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hollow my body. I'm gonna send it back. Other one, lift your chin up and shoulder protract and retract for 8 for your scaling push-ups. 7, elbows face your waist. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we'll lower ourselves down for a reverse push-ups. I guess it can go like this. And then back up. And then again, 2, I'm gonna lift my sternum up. 3, 4, 5. Don't forget about your core. 6, yeah, looks good. Oh, look at those feet ones. 7 and 8. Which leads us now to pushing back. We're gonna do triangle. So fingers face in to open up, and you're gonna bring your head down towards the mat for 8 and push. 7, 6, 5, 4. So strong, good. 3, 2, 1, and then hands forward for dolphin. I'm gonna slip. Oh my gosh. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done with that. Good. So, stretching still front. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go to that one more extreme stretch since there are a lot of good things today. So what I'm gonna do, and I missed this. I was thinking about this the other day amongst all the chaos, the good chaos. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hug my, well, let's do low back first while we're here. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sit up as tall as I can, and then I'm gonna rotate a little bit to get a little bit of a stretch in the hip joint. Yeah, hips have been a thing. So have a lot of people with tight shoulders. Okay, and so then I'm gonna go towards my long leg. I'm gonna reach up and over, and that should get this area down here. Good. I'm gonna look up at the ceiling, and then I'm gonna rotate towards my leg, and then I'm gonna go ahead and lift up, and use your hands as liberally or as unapologetically as you want to. Perfect. And if you get hamstring too, that's awesome. And 1. Good. Okay, I'm gonna stay on this side like this, and from here, I'm gonna go ahead and Hold my leg like a baby, maybe. And then I'm gonna pull it in to stretch out. Stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. These pants are a good visual to see what's going on here. Okay, I see my error now because I'm gonna end up turning around the other way. I'll fix it. So then what I wanna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take my hand underneath my heel. I'll move my leg. You don't have to move your leg, but then I'm gonna turn myself sideways and I'm gonna push my hip open. This should not hurt. I'm gonna try to get a little space, and I needed this today. It's a little tight in there. And then if you can put your hamstring on your tricep there, or you can try to put it towards your shoulder. I miss this, I cannot put it on my shoulder anymore. And then my foot's forward, I wanna be able to open it up so I'm not pulling on my knee joint, and I'm gonna lift it up a little bit to guide it and bring it back down. I'm gonna lift it, yep. And I probably could use a little more space, so I'm gonna move my elbow out of the way. I'm gonna lift to guide it. 3, nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna regrip because I just think it feels more authentic. And then I'm gonna keep my legs straight and I'm gonna give a tiny little pull. Yeah, different than laying on the foam roller. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm just gonna hold it nice and steady for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, then I'll do the same thing on the other side real quick. Hopefully I got this figured out this time. So I'll take my other leg out. And then I'm gonna start by going, well, I'll move my femur just a little bit. That's tight, that kind of feels nice. And then when you make the choice, wherever you sit will help. And then you can go up and over, nice. And then I am tight on this side, so I'm gonna do this a few times, but then you can add the rotation when it feels like you need something else to live for. Good. Good, now I'm gonna rotate now because I think it feels good. Man, movement makes you tight. Good. Okay, so this will make more sense now. So then I'll grab my other leg, I won't have to flip around, and I'm gonna hug it like a baby. Woo. And I'm nice and squished in. Good. Pulling, pulling, pulling. And then I'll take my hands under my heel. Oh, just kidding, I still have to do it. That's fine, it's fine. And I'm gonna put my hand under my heel, and I'm gonna push it open. Yeah, push. And then as I get cozy, I'm gonna put it on my tricep or on my shoulder. It's my little happier leg. I'm gonna keep this leg straight for some proprioception, and then again, to do a good knee angle, I'm gonna turn it, and then I'm gonna extend it, and then bend it a few times. 7, good. 6, I'm gonna make my way down. 5, 4, oh, that's what I needed. 3, just a tiny pop. 2, and then I'm gonna regrip. And then I'm going to give a nice lengthening out for 8. Look how flexible you are. Good job. 5. Little biceps here. 4, 3, 2. And I'll hold it tight for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Good. And that's a good extreme stretch. Then I want you to stretch your hip flexor. So you can do that on the foam roller. Or you can do it on the floor. I'm going to go ahead and do it just because I can just roll over real quick. So what I'll do is I'll bring one leg forward. And then I'll bring this leg out, and then the more upright I go, the more hip flexor, and then if you go down, you can get a little bit of bump. Or you could do this like this and put it on the wall. So many options. Ugh. I think for the first time in my life, my abs are stretching more than my hip flexor. It's amazing. And then I'll go ahead and go down to even that out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and switch sides. Bring me in. I'm gonna lift myself, oh, the side sider. Lift this up to stretch, or again, I'm on the foam roller, or I'm up against the wall in the kneeling position. And I'm gonna bring myself down. Oh, I like that, Annette, good. That's really good. Good, and And because like we get the option to walk, which is kind of a nice option with our safety protocols here, I do want to stretch out my calves. So not doing push-ups where you press back and then you pedal out one at a time just to get those working muscles. Those walking muscles, they're also working. And then when I'm going through this, because again, I don't want to waste my time, I don't want to waste your time, now I'm looking for specificity. So I'm going to do both, and I want to try and make them touch at the same time. I lift my toes at the end, and then I lift up, and then I touch my toes. And I'm tracking my knees too. So it's not wasted, it's really effortful. Good. And so I'm going to probably climb out of frame a little bit, but I'm going to take my feet apart, and then I'm going to walk myself. So we get a little more hamstring. We did some inner thigh, some twisting there. And I'm going to hold my head down towards my chest. I want to keep my knees soft. And I'm going to breathe in through my nose and go back to my body again. And I'm going to exhale and pull my belly button up towards the ceiling, but let my head get closer to the floor. Letting my back kinetic chain, my deep longitudinal line stretch. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. And I'm going to exhale and breathe out all my worries. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to exhale out all my expectations. And I'm going to breathe in the gift of today. And I'm going to breathe it in with the excitement and without the anxiety of trying to do enough. And then from here, if you grip your elbow on each, and then I want you to pretend there's a soft autumn breeze, one can wish, where you rock back and forth, relaxing your head. Good. And then you go ahead and grab one more time behind your ankles. You give yourself a cute little hug. And then I'm going to have just dead gorilla arms to the mat. And I want to lead with my chin to my chest, reminding myself to let my back of my neck go, to let things go. And I'm going to nod yes, and I'm going to nod no. Creating space in the atlas and axis, I'm going to nod yes. I'm going to shake my head no. And then with my soft knees, I'm going to grip with my toes. I'm going to push my heels down. I'm going to breathe in, and I'm going to use all the power inside me and slowly roll up nice and slow for 8, 7, 6. As you go slow, you're just creating yourself standing anew to conquer your day and to feel powerful, strong,